Potato.
How you doing, movie fans? Welcome back to another week here at The Potato, and I hope you're all doing very well. So The Rise of Skywalker, it has all come down to this. A film that felt just so kind of disjointed, with things kind of crammed in, and some with no explanation, and some that just raise further questions. And while I've seen many people bashing the hell out of this movie left and right, I do plan to say some things that I did enjoy about this movie, but I plan on leaving that until the end to close this thing on a semi-high note here. But first, let's get to what really bothered me about this film. And while what bothered me might not bother you, and some of this is nitpicky, I'm keeping score here of the things that bothered me versus the things that didn't. And because this movie felt so disjointed and things crammed and spliced together, I'm going to do this the exact same way. Let's get this started. Starting with the opening crawl, how it mentions Palpatine has been broadcasting, and we don't hear this broadcast, but you did if you were playing Fortnite. Really? That is so fucking lame. You know, I'm usually good for a couple that doesn't make sense moments and just let it go. But there is just way too much here. If Jedi can heal people, like how Rey, healed Kylo, and how she was able to heal that creature, and even in The Mandalorian, how that Force-sensitive, what people are calling Baby Yoda, can heal, then damn, Obi-Wan is a real asshole, huh? Like, he really hated Qui-Gon then, because he just kind of was like, all right, we're gonna let him go, whatever. I love how the Sith Wayfinder looks like a plug-and-play paperweight that duels as a charging station or something. What?
Did anything in the film surprise you?
Did anything surprise me? Yeah, one thing. When Poe got shot in the leg by a stormtrooper, I thought that was, they actually hit something. All right, Palpatine is back. No really explanation how, but even just one line of dialogue of some explanation would have been fine. And I don't care if there's Q&As of people talking about how the Sith Force can be mysterious and everything like that, or even if it shows up in a book somewhere. Like, the bottom line is it should be somewhat addressed in the movie. It's just so lazy leaving it out. And how Rey is his granddaughter also. What about Palpatine's son, who we didn't even know existed? Does this just skip a generation? Did he not want to be part of it? Did he run away? We don't know any of this. We can assume everything we want, but there is no explanation. And considering we've had 3 movies with this character, we deserve a little bit more. How did Palpatine even get the numbers to actually occupy these ships? Are there that many loyalists? And how could they all just be there without anybody knowing it? You would think they would have to go somewhere and somebody would talk. I mean, does it just look impressive? And there's really only like 5 people in each of these destroyers? Because I just don't know how the hell they would get these numbers. These fleets stretch as far back as you could possibly see in the sky. The dagger that Rey just pulls out and is able to, it just happens to be standing at the correct spot with this rubble of the Death Star and actually find the location on it with the little hidden blade at that exact spot. It's also really impressive in the first place that there's even rubble to begin with, considering we saw this thing get completely obliterated. And I love how, man, they really build things to last, because not only is the Emperor's chair just almost in pristine condition, but so is some of the glass in the window behind it where the Emperor sat behind. It's just amazing. I see we're just skipping around to similar to what they did in Game of Thrones, too. We're just kind of speeding things along without really any explanation. Light speed skip? Nah, doesn't make much sense, but sure, why not? General Pride mentions how he had served the Emperor before. I've never seen you. So a little late in the game to be introducing characters like this, I think. Exegol. The name Exegol to me sounds like somebody was just typing on an Excel file, like, what do we name this planet? Exegol. It sounds like a made-up name for somebody who's never seen Star Wars. I do think the Force powers here are starting to be too influenced by the Marvel films. I didn't mind so much the parts where they were kind of interacting with each other and things would kind of teleport and end up in other places. That was kind of a nice little addition. I didn't mind that. There's a pro. But it was so over the top with the ship and how they're kind of stroking their Force egos back and forth, kind of locked in. That was much. And the lightning from Palpatine. I liked at the beginning how we saw Kylo just mowing people down. That was pretty cool. The Han scene felt pretty impactful to me. Same thing for when Chewie finds out that Leia has passed. Regarding Carrie Fisher, I actually thought they did a decent job with the limited footage they had to work with here for the cutting room floors. And you know, it was convincing enough for me to buy into it, so I give them that too. I also liked the concept of a First Order spy, although it was just executed pretty horribly. Babu Frick, he really was hilarious. I think if you're just a casual fan of the series and want to zone out and watch some good Star Wars action, then this movie's okay. I mean, it does look like a Star Wars movie. I feel like since Disney took over, they have kind of hit that really well, where it still looks like a Star Wars movie. It still sounds like a Star Wars movie. It's just all these other factors. And it's kind of sad because there were things I didn't like, but I felt like could have worked if it was set up properly in The Last Jedi. Instead, I feel like we're just getting a decent sequel to a movie that didn't happen, which makes it even more aggravating. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next week. Thanks.
Potato.